Hello students. So in this video lecture, we have discussed a very important topic from the human reproduction chapter, and that is the male reproductive system. All right. So you can see on your screen the model, the 3D model of the human male reproductive system along with the presence of the human male skin. So we will first see the location in this entire model, that where the male reproductive system is exactly located, and then we will talk about and deal with the different components of the male reproductive system. So let me just maximize this model a little bit and just rotate it now. So as you can see that the location of the male reproductive system is outside the abdominal cavity. So this male reproductive system is located outside the abdominal cavity, and that too in the pelvic region. So located in the pelvic region, outside abdominal cavity. All right, so this is their location. Now we will talk about the components of the male reproductive system. So let's move on to the components of the male reproductive system. So we will just slice it out, the male skin, and we'll just maximize this model, this only part a little bit. All right, so this is going to be like here. So first we will label all the components, all right, and then we will talk about each of the components. All right, so if we look here, then the male reproductive system consists of testis, and this testis is usually in pairs. So you can see over here also. So testis, which is paired, all right. Then this represents the epididymis, which is one of the component of the accessory duct. All right, this is the penis part. This one is the glans penis, which is the enlarged portion of penis. All right, now this represents the urinary bladder, all right, and if we just isolate this one, this portion is representing the seminal vesicles, and these seminal vesicles are also the these are the glands, accessory glands of the male reproductive system, which are also in pairs. We will be seeing all these components individually. Now these are seminal vesicles. Now this represents the vas deferens. This represents vas deferens. This is also an accessory duct, and if we just slice out this part, this one is representing the urethra. All right, so urethra is actually hidden inside the penis portion, so that's why I had to remove that penis portion and make you people show it. All right, so this is the representation part. So if we put all the figures together, so this will go like this. So indirectly we can say that the urethra will lie over here. All right, so these are the labelings of the male reproductive system. Now we will talk about each of the components in detail now. Okay, let's just shift this model a little bit now. So if we talk about the male reproductive system, then This male reproductive system has four main parts. So male reproductive system it has four main parts. Now, what are those main parts? The four main parts are testis, then accessory ducts, then accessory glands, and the fourth is external genitalia. Alright, so these are the four main parts of the male reproductive system. So we will be talking about the testis first. Alright, now, so let's move on with the testis part. So in the figure, we can see that this one. Alright, so these are representing the testis. These two are representing testis. And I already told you that they are present in pairs. Alright, now we will note down some key points of the testis as well. Now, we have already seen their location, and these testes, they are situated in the pelvic region outside the abdominal cavity. Alright, so location is outside abdominal cavity. In the pelvic region. In the pelvic region. Alright, but the peculiarity is that these testes are actually contained within a pouch which is called scrotum. Alright, so that is their key feature. So testis contained within a pouch called scrotum. Now, this is very important. So, they are actually contained in a bag-like structure, muscular bag-like structure, which is called scrotum. Now, scrotum is important, or why they are situated outside the abdominal cavity, or what is the importance? So, scrotum is basically a structure that contains testis and that protects testis as well. All right. So, it's a muscular sac that contains and protects testis. All right. Now, this scrotum is actually a part of the external male genitalia. All right. And it is located behind the penis. So you can see that since the testis is located behind the penis, this is the penis part. So since the testis is also located behind the penis, so the scrotum will also be located behind the penis. All right. Now, why scrotum is important, or why their containment in the scrotum is important? So the reason for this is that scrotum helps in maintaining the low temperature of testis. Scrotum helps in maintaining low temperature of testis. Now, how much low temperature? So it is usually 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than the normal body temperature. All right. So normal internal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. So the temperature of the scrotum will be 34.5 to 35 degrees Celsius. So why this is important? This is important because this low temperature is actually responsible for sperm formation. This is necessary for sperm formation, which is called as spermatogenesis. All right. So we will write those things as well. Low temperature in scrotum helps in sperm formation. That means male gametes formation, which is also known as spermatogenesis. All right. So this is their importance. All right. And since we are studying the external structure of the male reproductive system, so the scrotum part. So the scrotum is usually becoming like this portion over here. So if this represents the testis, so this will represent the scrotum. Like this. All right. Now, shape of testis, as we are already seeing in the model, that it is oval in shape. So shape is oval. And what about the length? So length is 4 to 5 centimeter long. And if we see their width, so they are usually 2 to 3 centimeter wide. All right. So this is about the testis part. Now we will talk about the accessory ducts that are present in case of the male reproductive system. So we will first note down all the components of the accessory ducts, and then I'll just label it out in the model itself. All right. So now, if we talk about the accessory ducts in case of male reproductive system, MRS. All right. So what is the function of accessory ducts? Now, since these are ducts and accessory means helping. All right. So the function of these ducts is to transport the sperms that are released from the testis, all right, to the urethra or the external opening so that they can be released outside the body. All right. So their function is to transports sperms from the testis to the urethra. Now we have already seen the urethra in the model itself. All right. So internal to this is being represented by in the form of urethra. All right. Like if I'll just slice out this part like this. All right. So it will be more specific. So it will transport the sperms from the testis to the urethra, and that will be ultimately released outside the body. So for their release, outside the body. All right. Now, so there are basically 4 accessory ducts which are present in case of the male reproductive system. So 4 accessory ducts present. All right. Now, what are those 4 accessory ducts? The first one is called retrotestis. The second is vasa efferentia. The third one is epididymis. And the fourth one is vas deferens. So this vas deferens is also known as sperm duct. Alright, so these are the 4 ducts that are present in the male reproductive system. So we have already seen, alright, we'll just label it once again, alright, all these components in the male reproductive system. So let's just label it first. Now, so if we just bring this model in the center and just label it out. Now see, so we have already seen the epididymis and the vas deferens part. Retitestis and vasa efferentia, which are the 2 initial accessory ducts, these 2 ducts are actually hidden. So it cannot be seen from outside. However, the connections of retitestis and vasa efferentia is with the epididymis part. So this one is representing the epididymis. And this one is representing the vas deferens. Alright. Now these vas deferens are ultimately opening into urethra with the help of ejaculatory ducts. Now, what are the functions of all these things? Now see, if we just slice out this portion, these 2 portions along with this and this part. Alright, so you can see that how it looks like. So this bulging portion is representing the epididymis, like this one. This is representing the epididymis and that one is representing the vas deferens. Alright, and you know, this is a very surprising thing to know that all these ducts which I have explained right now, these ducts are in interconnection to one another. Alright, retitestis is connected to vasa efferentia is then connected to epididymis is then connected to vas deferens. Alright, so there is a just interconnection of all the components that are found. So if we talk about retitestis, so the first one is the retitestis. And retitestis is present somewhat over here, like this. These are present over here. And inside it, we know that inside the testis is present the various seminiferous tubules. We will be discussing about the seminiferous tubules in a separate 3D model. Alright, so here they have the, connections like this one. And there are cells, spermatogonial cells present inside seminiferous tubules, which will produce sperms like this. So this represents the retitestis. Alright, like this. Now, retitestis is the duct that connect these seminiferous tubules. So these are, I already told you that these are seminiferous tubules. Seminiferous tubules. So this is a duct that connects the seminiferous tubules of testis to the vasa efferentia. So they will connect to vasa efferentia. Alright, and vasa efferentia lies somewhere. So it lies somewhere over here. This yellow portion. So it is also a kind of a, you can say, ductule-like structure. So this represents vasa efferentia. So all are in connection to one another only. Alright, so this will connect vasa efferentia. Now, what about vasa efferentia? Now, vasa efferentia is a duct which will open into epididymis. Now, this vasa efferentia opens into epididymis. Epididymis. And you can see that the epididymis is located on the posterior surface of each testis. So you can see the location over here, this one. This you can see that this is the epididymis. So this epididymis is located on the posterior surface of each testis. Located on posterior surface of each testis. Clear? Now this will ultimately, this vasa efferentia opens into epididymis, and epididymis we know will open into vas deferens. So third is epididymis, which will open into sperm duct or vas deferens. Alright, so these are vas deferens. Alright, so you can see that how the interconnections are there. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is the fourth part. How they are connected to one another. Alright, and vas deferens is a duct. You can see that it is ultimately looping over the urinary bladder. So this is the urinary bladder, and you can see that how this vas deferens is ultimately looping over the urinary bladder. Alright, and this vas deferens, it will receive a duct from the seminal vesicles. We will be discussing seminal vesicles in the accessory glands part as well. Vas deferens will ultimately open into the urethra via ejaculatory duct. Now, the next is vas deferens. So vas deferens loops over urinary bladder, and opens into urethra. So you just need to know the sequence, because the sequence is very important in case of the male reproductive system. So it opens into urethra as ejaculatory duct. Alright, this is about the accessory ducts part. Now let's talk about the accessory glands that are present in the male reproductive system. Accessory glands. Now, in case of male reproductive system, they are 3 in number. The accessory glands are 3 in number. Seminal vesicles, then prostrate gland, then bulbourethral gland, also called Cowper's gland. Now these two glands, first and third gland, they are paired, while the second prostrate gland is unpaired. Alright, now, so let's just move the model on the back side. Now, so you can see that these two represents seminal vesicles, which are paired, and this one is prostrate gland. Now we will discuss about each of the glands. Now, since these are glands, so definitely their secretions will include the seminal plasma. All right, so all the secretions of all these glands, they constitute seminal plasma. So secretions of these glands constitutes seminal plasma. All right, and this seminal plasma is rich in many of the components. All right, so this is rich in fructose, calcium, enzymes, then of course sperms, then prostaglandins, and fibrinogen. All right, so the details of all these important composition has been provided in the description section of the video link, so you can avail from there itself. So all these components are present in the seminal plasma, and all these glands, they contribute in the secretion of the seminal plasma. All right, now, so basically the prostrate gland, this is the prostrate gland. All right, now this gland secretes slightly alkaline milky fluid. So secretes slightly alkaline milky fluid. And this slightly alkaline milky fluid is responsible, or it helps in the survival of sperms in the acidic vaginal environment. All right, so this helps in survival of sperms. In the acidic vaginal environment. All right, while on the other hand, the seminal vesicles, that is the main gland which will constitute the compositions of fructose, calciums, enzymes, and sperms that we have seen previously as well. All right, these are all the glands. This was all the glands that are found in case of the male reproductive system. Now, in case of the male external genitalia, if we see, then there are two components. All right, so we will now see the male external genitalia. So the main external genitalia here is constituted of penis, and this one is the glans penis. So these are the two components of the male external genitalia. Penis and glans penis. All right, now this penis is actually made of special tissue which actually helps in the erection of the penis to facilitate the insemination. So this is made of specialized tissues. Made of special tissue helping in erection of penis during insemination. Alright, now this glans penis which you can see is the enlarged end of penis. So this is the enlarged end of penis, and this enlarged end of penis, which is the glans penis, is actually covered up by loose fold of skin. So covered by loose fold of skin, and that is called foreskin or prepuce. Prepuce. Alright, so this is about the last component of the male reproductive system, and that is the male external genitalia constituting the penis and the glans penis part. So this was all about the male reproductive system.